Hey guys, it's week 10, 10 weeks and counting until the book you were born to write. Everything you need to finally get your wisdom onto the page and into the world is in the world. And I am doing 10 weeks of book launch expose. I want to teach you what I'm doing on my book launch so that when the time comes, you can do it on your book launch. And of course, I will say that things change over time, so it depends on when your book launch is happening, whether or not the things I'm doing will actually be effective for you. But if you're doing it anytime in the next, I'd say about a year, you're gonna get some good information in this 10-week series. So today, before I launch into our topic for week 10, I want to actually talk to you a little bit about setting goals for your book. So I have 3 different types of goals for the book you were born to write. The first goal is what I'll call a personal goal. And for me, it's that this book contains everything I've learned in the last 20 years of being in the book business. And that's a lot of content. And as you may know, if you've ever heard me speak or if you've read the book, you'll see that I actually got into the book business because I wanted to write a book. I didn't know what it was going to be about. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but I wanted to know that I would be prepared when the time came. So I really feel like the time has come. 20 years of editing books and getting them into the world is plenty of time for me to have really amassed a lot of information. And so it's a personal goal for me to have a book in the world after that having been the whole reason I got into the publishing business in the first place. The second goal that I have for the book is what I would call a goal that's like a service-oriented goal. So I work in a niche that's called transformational nonfiction. And that would be like self-help, personal growth, inspirational memoir. These are books that are meant to transform and change people's lives and change the world, honestly. And the more information I can give you about how to get your book in the world, the more likely it will actually get there and it will actually start helping to serve positive change in our world. So that is my second goal for this book. The third goal is more of a professional goal. So this is a goal that has to do with my company and has to do with, setting a foundation for my company to be successful over the course of many years. Publishing a book is an excellent way to bring people to your company who might not otherwise have heard about you, because it can kind of go out into the world a little further than you can. It gets passed hand to hand and people learn about who you are and what it is that you offer. In my case, they learn about KN Literary, which is my company where we help people write, edit, and publish their books. And I want people to know that we exist and that we offer all sorts of services that will help you at any stage of the book process. So having my book, The Book You Were Born to Write, in the world is going to be a way to sort of start seeding the field. More and more people will know that we exist. More and more people will find their way back to our website. So those are my 3 goals for actually writing the book. Then I want to talk about my priorities for the book launch, because those 2 things are quite different. And different people have different priorities for their book launch. Some people want to hit a bestseller list. It's like so important to them that they're an Amazon bestseller. I am not one of those people. And I think it's because I'm a bit jaded about bestseller lists, given that I've been in the business for 20 years. I've seen many books hit the list for 1 week and then fall off the list and ultimately have disappointing sales. And you can say forever after that you are a New York Times bestseller or a USA Today bestseller or a Washington Post bestseller. But behind the scenes, people in the business know that doesn't actually necessarily amount to much when it comes to sales. And if you're trying to make an impact on the world and help people with your book, shooting for a bestseller list is not actually necessarily going to result in you getting your book out more widely. So I'm not putting any attention on that whatsoever. I'm also not putting attention on having a set number of books that I want to sell, at the time of publication or within a couple months after that. Ideally, I would love to sell out my first print run, sell out my second print run. I'd love to sell tens of thousands of copies over the course of the book's lifetime. But I'm not saying like by the end of this year, my book comes out on November 13th. By the end of this year, I must have sold 2,500 copies or 5,000 copies or 10,000 copies. Again, I don't actually think that is necessarily a goal that's going to be achievable. I don't know if it's achievable, we'll see, but it feels like a false place to put my energy right now. I really want to put my energy on continuing to get the word out about the book, which then again leads back to people coming to KN Literary. So my priorities are threefold, really. So my very first priority is that I want to get pre-orders for my book from people who already know who I am. So pre-order means that somebody goes to Amazon and they click the pre-order button and they sort of reserve their copy. And the day that the book publishes, it gets sent to them automatically. It might be Amazon, it might be barnesandnoble.com, it might be your favorite independent bookseller. But wherever it is, you have already put in your order. And so the day that the book is available, you get it. And for me, that's important for a couple reasons. Number one, the more people who read my book quickly, the more quickly the word will start to spread. Because ideally, of course, my friends are super excited and enthusiastic about my book coming out, which is awesome. I love you all. But for people who don't know me really, really well, they're going to want to read the book first before they hand it off to somebody else. So I want them to get that book as soon as possible so they can start talking about it as soon as possible. And the second reason that I want to have a lot of pre-orders is because there's sort of a newness factor. I think it's a human trait that we like the new, bright, shiny object. And I want to sort of be able to use that momentum of like, hey, this is brand new book just out, to get people to actually commit to buying it right now, rather than saying, oh yeah, someone was telling me about that book. I've heard about it for months and months and maybe I'll get it someday. I'm like, no, you got to get it now. It's brand spanking new. You're going to be one of the first readers of the book. So the idea is to really start building excitement and capitalize on our natural tendency to like new things. So my first goal there, pre-orders from people who already know me. This is people on my newsletter list. This is people who are friends with me on Facebook and Instagram and other social media sites. It's people who are already in my tribe, you might say. The second goal of the book launch is to extend the awareness of the book beyond my tribe. I don't want it to just be the people that I know already who hear about the book. I am looking to get people beyond that interested. So I'm going to do that in several different ways. And over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to tell you about a few of them. And then finally, I want to get ready to nurture anyone who finds their way to my website, knliterary.com, through the book. So once the book is in the world, like I said, it's sort of seeding the field, and people who may not have heard about KN Literary are going to start to know about us. And I want to be really sure that when they come and visit knliterary.com, they're entering a world that is meant to show them how good we are, how professional we are, how much we have to offer, to give them a ton of free information. As in the marketing world, it's called warming up the lead. I want to warm them up. I want to nurture them. I want them to see how much benefit they could get from working with us. So I need to make sure that everything is ready for that new lead who happens to find their way to KN Literary through the book. So those are the things that I'm really focusing on, my priorities in the book launch. So now, with that preamble, I'm going to tell you what I want to talk about in week 10. So I want to talk about tuning up your website. So that's my week 10 tip for you, is tune up your website so it's ready for the readers of your book. And this obviously is going to be really different depending on who you are, what kind of website you have, what kind of audience you have, what kind of book you're writing. For me, like I just said, tuning up my website means making it as good as possible for what I would call a cold lead. So up until this point, most people who've heard about KN Literary either know me personally, or have gotten referred to me by someone in the book business, a publisher or an agent who knows me, or they've seen me speak at a writer's workshop. All of those are great ways. It's totally built my business. It's been awesome. And that means that they're what we call warm leads. They already know me. They already have a friend who's worked with me. There's some way in which I'm already pre-vetted. And I don't mean necessarily just me, but our company in general. All the tribe of contractors that we work with, they trust that if they come to KN Literary because they've heard about us and me in advance from someone they trust, they know that they're going to get served by us. People who are coming because they've heard some way about the book, whether they've heard me, they're a friend of a friend on Facebook, or whether they saw my name and my picture in the Omega catalog, because I'm teaching at Omega next year. They don't know me personally yet. They haven't gotten that personal referral that would have them feel at ease, potentially, to be ready to purchase a service with us and come on board and join our little tribe. So I want to make sure that my website is totally ready for that lead. It hasn't been up until now. My website up until now has been very focused on people who already kind of know who we are and kind of already are interested in working with us. And instead, I'm tuning it in a different direction. So how am I going to do that? Well, the first thing is that I am completely revamping the website, and I'm doing it. I'm going to give you a couple tips here. Number one is, right now, at this particular moment in time, there's something that's working really well that's called the story brand method. Story StoryBrand method. And I think you can find it at storybrand.com. A guy named Donald Miller has created it. And it's a fairly formulaic way to lay out your website, but it's formulaic in that it actually nurtures a reader through a process as they read down your homepage of getting to know you in a particular way that has been proven to work to help them understand more of who you are and potentially actually click on the call to action button you've chosen. So our new website, the call to action button, is going to be schedule a call. That's what we want. We want to get on the phone with you. We have two amazing editorial matchmakers who have talked to hundreds of clients and can basically say, like, this is what we offer. Tell me more about what your process is and what your dreams are with your book, and I'm going to tell you whether we have a service for you. That's my ideal, is that people end up on the phone with one of our wonderful matchmakers. And so that is my goal with our revamp of our website, is to help to warm people up to the idea that, hey, getting on a call with us is actually something that would be a good idea. So storybrand.com, I also worked with a wonderful woman who's a certified StoryBrand specialist. Her name is Linda Perry, and her website is soulgeniusbranding.com, and I can't recommend her more highly. She's really wonderful. And then I am also working with another wonderful woman, Tessa Ashford at Ashford Digital. She is rebuilding our website, and she's rebranding it and helping us to get a new, fresh vibe for the look and feel of the website. So she's taken what's called the wireframe that Linda and I worked out, which is basically the content we want on the website. And then she is creating an amazing brand look and feel for that content. And we are in the process. So here in week 10, that's our number one priority this week, is to get that look and feel agreed upon, dialed in, and ready to go so that the rest of the website can be built. I want to let you in on my number one mistake that I have made on this book journey so far, and that is waiting too long to get this website revamped. It's not that I didn't know we needed it. I've been talking to web designers since January, literally, but it was just the kind of thing where this one didn't work out and this one didn't work out, and I didn't sort of put that at the very tip top of my priority list, saying we've got to get this in before we do anything else. We did a lot of other amazing things, which I'll talk about in future weeks as I talk to you a little bit more about what our book launch plan has been. So we've gotten a lot accomplished, but I really wish I had put that at the top of the list, so we're not here 10 weeks before the book comes out trying to get our website dialed in. So don't make that same mistake. When you start writing your book, start thinking about what the goal of your website is. And if you need a tune-up or a rebrand, or if you need one to be built in the first place, maybe you don't even have a website yet, start thinking about it and actually setting that in motion as you're writing the book. You will be very happy that you did, or at least you won't be as unhappy as I have been these past couple weeks. Biting my fingernails, hoping that we get this all taken care of in time to get the rest of the launch out with our new branding. Okay, and finally, one last thing I wanted to talk about the website is getting a book sales page up and running. So this is what's called a pillar page. It's a long page that explains in multiple different terms with multiple different medium, including pictures, including quotes from the book, including some of the amazing endorsements I've gotten. It's been wonderful how much my friends have supported me in this book, including potentially video, etc. Different ways to show people what is in the book and why they might want to buy it, and then offering them a really cool incentive for pre-ordering. So that is a really fun thing that I'm going to talk about again in a future week, is what kind of incentive you might want to offer that says, like, hey, if you buy the book before the book comes out, if you pre-order it on your favorite bookseller's website, and let me know that you did that, I'm going to give you a really cool gift in return. And so that's something that I'm working on as well. So that's week 10. Thanks for joining me. We'll be and Alexandra over here, who's hard at work on some of the other initiatives that I'm going to talk about in future weeks. And I look forward to being able to share all the rest of the amazing things that we're doing in preparation for the book coming out in the world. And in the meantime, if you have any specific questions, you can always email me at info@knliterary.com. I get all of those emails, and I will try to answer your questions in a future video. All right, I've got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for watching.